Zimbabwe cash crisis worse.
Talking about Venezuela once again.
Systemic important banks. They removed the 1,000 thing on there called monetary awareness. Hey there, hope all is well. Back at you today with some more RT News updates. So today I want to share with you an article I just came across in regards to the whole FedCoin creation and how this article here says a terrifying future of FedCoin. And so the author of this article here lays out an interesting idea as to how the whole cryptocurrency space can be very encouraging and very positive. But then on the other side of that same coin is the idea that governments are never really willing to give up absolute power, even though they're looking into using the blockchain for the benefit of humanity. But it's more so going to be to centralize control of the money supply continuously. And so the article here lays out a couple good points worth mentioning here. And then more importantly, I want to get your thoughts on this whole idea of the FedCoin, because in my opinion, it's inevitable. It's a matter of just when. And so looking forward to sharing this article with you guys. But as always, new to RTD, I want to encourage you to click the subscribe button along with that notification tab to be informed of future updates as well as live streams. Also join me on Twitter, where I share posts throughout the day on various subject matters dealing with our monetary system as well as whatever's happening in the news that I can't get to via video. Make sure you click the button down below to be notified when things are posted. So today, as I mentioned, I came across this article here, and it's by Tony Abu, and it came out as of yesterday. But yet it's quite interesting as how he lays out some of the positives as well as gets into how some of the negatives will play into this development of digital blockchain being utilized as a national medium of exchange for governments. And then he also uses a very unusual aspect in thinking about how would Hitler use this coin if he had the opportunity to have centralized control of the money supply. And then it ties it into what's happening in China right now with their social credit program, where they seem to be ahead of the pack as far as digitizing everything from your credit score to your overall performance and behavior within the community there in China. So give an idea what's going on. As always, I want you to take time to read it for yourself so you get a better understanding. But it says the terrifying future of FedCoin, how crypto could bring one of the most important concentrations of power the world has ever seen. So he starts off with talking about how it could be revolutionary. And he says, on the other hand, cryptocurrency seems like a libertarian dream. The technology allows transaction money or anything of value over the internet without any third party involved. It says crypto is also empowering individuals. Projects like Bitcoin are open source, permissionless, borderless, censorship resistant, and beyond the control of anyone. Then he goes on to say, on the other hand, cryptocurrencies could also be used by governments to gain terrifying power over the population. Then he goes on and talks about cryptocurrency equals programmable money. Then he lists some of the benefits of having a digitized money supply. And what it says here, it says for governments, being able to program money is one of the best things that could happen. Here's why. Here are a few examples. So basically, automating taxes would be one benefit for the government. Second one would be automating distribution of money. It says beyond taxation, FedCoin could also automate the redistribution of money. It says say a politician promises to invest 10% or more in the education, rather than just being lousy words, he could program it directly into the blockchain. He says then every time the government collects taxes, 10% will be automatically redirected to the Department of Education. So with FedCoin, you would no longer need to trust politicians. You could trust the code itself. Then the next one here says transparent government. It says FedCoin could also make the government a lot more transparent. One of the biggest misconceptions about crypto is that its transactions are anonymous. It says with the exception of privacy coins, they're not. It's the opposite. You can go on to bitcoin.org today, download Bitcoin's blockchain, and see every transaction. It says if FedCoin was built to be that way, anyone could access the blockchain, look up the government's address, and see exactly how the politicians are spending money. Then they go down and talks about the Bitcoin bankruptcy problem. It says crypto could make the government's finances incredibly more efficient and transparent. So what's so scary about it? Then he gets into the idea of some of the downsides of using a blockchain. In this example here, he talks about if someone borrowed $1 million and decided all of a sudden they refused to pay it back, and they erased all of their digital records that they could and just kept their passphrase in their mind. He said basically there's no way that the government could actually recollect that money because it's on the blockchain. So that person would be able to get away with basically borrowing and defaulting on their loan. And that's something that would not be good, where they would never feel comfortable giving absolute control to people in this nature. Then he goes on to say the point is cryptocurrencies are above the law. For governments, this is a huge problem. If everyone starts doing reckless things such as defaulting on loans and stop paying taxes entirely, there's no way they would allow that. Then it goes on to say, so what happens when a government wants all the benefits of programmable money but doesn't want to lose control over it? It says, 1, they create the FedCoin and use it to replace their own national currency, i.e. paper currency. It says 2, they code a backdoor access for themselves. That way they can freeze or seize people's funds when they try to cross them. And 3, it says in the likelihood, they will probably ban Bitcoin, Ethereum, and every other currency they can't control. Then it leads into the whole idea of what if Hitler had FedCoin? So it talks about here just the whole social aspect of being able to put everybody under scrutiny and under one single eye to where they can monitor and basically manipulate anything they wanted to. And it talks about Hitler had the absolute control over the government, over all Germany's money. What if at the press of a button he could freeze the money of half the German population? History would have played out very differently. Then it goes on to say a most recent event is the whole Chinese social credit program. Says a new program where everyone is given a score between 350 and 950, just like their credit score, except the score isn't just about the quality of your finances, it's about your entire value as a citizen. So basically it goes on some more, gives some more insight into the whole social credit program, which apparently is underway now, but it's a way for the government to actually monitor and to grade you according to your contribution to society, as well as your obedience to all the programs and to the school of thought, or the socialistic school of thought that's taking place in communist China.
It's the next recession.
Recession will be.
Will be a recession.
We're going to hit a recession.
The date of the next recession.
A U.S.-only recession typically lasts 8 to 10 months, but a lot of things about this particular one have not been typical. So
A crash is coming now, whether it's 6 months from now, 12 months, 36 months, no one knows.
I go to bed every night, I dream of another recession. If you know what to do, if you have the right plan to set up, you can make a lot of money from this.
And so here it talks about this program is already underway. And to scroll down some more, I highlight a couple things here. It says, I bring this up because it seems to me that FedCoin is the missing ingredient for what's happening out in China. To implement such a system nationwide, it says with it, all the social credit rules could be coded directly into the money. So what he's saying is the idea that if FedCoin was up and running in China, it'll be so much easier to basically seal the fate of the Asian people there, because not only with the social credit, then you have the money tied into it. They could easily just basically, if they approve of what you're doing or what you're saying or who you are as a person, your score will be good, your money will flow smoothly. If they didn't approve, they could just cut your score and cut access to their digital coins, and which will basically hinder you from participating in the economy there, i.e. this all ties into the whole global one currency type of situation here. Scrolling down some more, says, given that, it's no surprise China started working on its own FedCoin since 2016. They also started clamping down on other cryptocurrencies by banning ICOs, crypto mining, and foreign exchanges. Then it says the coming crossroad. Here goes some of the things that are, I believe, that's already in the works and it's kind of unavoidable. And it says digital money is inevitable. So no matter how much you dislike the idea of a FedCoin or cryptocurrencies in general, the blockchain is here to stay, and it's going to be implemented and utilized on a global scale, especially when it comes to digital currencies in the days ahead, because of what you see happening with all the fiat currencies that's failing one by one. And as I mentioned last night in the RTD live stream, every nation now is really beginning to feel a pinch in regards to their national currencies becoming basically what they are intended to become, which is worthless. So people are really beginning to look for alternatives. So they're going to rush into the crypto space regardless as a hedge against their own currency, which plays into the idea that this whole FedCoin is going to be positioned and pushed at the right time, and something will be announced in the form of a national currency, i.e. FedCoin or whatever, in a smaller nation. Then it will lead to the very last coin that will be implemented, which in my opinion could be a Federal Reserve based or United States based currency that will be some type of restore of confidence after all these things unravel. Then they give you some more here. It says that's where cryptocurrencies come in. The point of crypto is to get the convenience of digital money without anyone having to be in charge. Since governments are increasingly exploring the idea of FedCoin, they want all the benefits of Bitcoin except for the last part where they have to let go of their control over money. It says as a society, we'll need to decide how we want to use this new technology. Do we want a world where we have an open, global, decentralized, permissionless monetary system, or a currency of the people, by the people, for the people, or do we want to have a government-centered digital money? So these are questions that we need to face in the coming decade. So that's why I believe that this whole idea of the dangers of a centralized currency will come into play real soon, because we're witnessing right now firsthand the erosion and the debasement of fiat currencies around the world, ideally in the emerging markets such as Brazil, Argentina, Turkey, South Africa, you name it. All those countries are experiencing massive problems now. So it's just a matter of time before the whole blockchain digital currency from a national government or a national currency standpoint begins to be become a mainstream topic. So other than that, I want to shine some light on the subject matter here on the FedCoin and how the author here said it's very terrifying future for the FedCoin, because in one way or another it will be introduced as a primary medium of exchange in some form or another, and so it's just a matter of being prepared for it and also diversifying outside of digital blockchain based assets. So other than that, love to hear your thoughts on this article. Leave a comment down below, and if you find this important, please share this so more people become aware of the idea of a FedCoin, or whatever it might be called when it's unleashed. But it's inevitable that a centralized coin will be coming. It's just a matter of when and how it will be received by the public. So other than that, hope all is well. Look forward to bringing more RTD news updates. See you tonight for an RTD live stream, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Have a good one.